What's up, Starcraft fans? Today we're doing a tier list for Boontown on Oblivion Express. Brian, let's use Mutation.
Oblivion Express is the map where we have to destroy trains. They come in from the west, mainly along 2 tracks, and we have to destroy 9 of them to win the game. If we miss more than 1 train on brutal difficulty, we lose the game. Nukes deploy randomly on the map. Enemies explode upon death. Your units sometimes get scared when they get hit.
So we have Twotuuu and Zero in the call with us today. How are you guys?
Great.
Okay, Twotuuu, how do we rank commanders this week?
So commanders with long-range units and good static defense will be rated higher because they don't get affected by fear. And long-range units, well, you can kite them more easily, and you can stay away from the nuke areas.
Yeah. How about you, Zero?
So the barriers, like on the Nova from defensive drones, allow them to ignore fear, so having that will also boost their score a lot.
Alright.
And of course the train DPS is important because this map has a lot of damage output you need.
Let's begin. Abathur, where do we have him?
He's gonna have a hard time getting the first Brutalist because going nuclear makes it really hard.
Yes.
And then later on, you're probably gonna get like just all air after you get 1 Brutalist to like hold things, keep things under control. If you let the first train go to because you're not farming, you're gonna pretty much not do anything for the first like 8 minutes because you're just gonna stay in your base, and that's not a good sign.
10 minutes for me.
Later on, he's okay. He has Vipers, he has Guardians, so he's not bad, but it takes a while to get going. So I put him in C.
How about you, Zero?
I have him in B. I wouldn't go for air. I would go for Ravagers again. They don't really need biomass, and they have plenty of DPS to burst down the trains. And even if they get feared, you're not losing much biomass, because you won't have much. And yeah, even with the losses, they'll still have enough to kill the trains and the enemies with the bios.
How do you get around the nukes?
You just don't stand in them.
Is there
Look where
enough
they're gonna
space?
drop and walk away. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, what do you think, Twotuuu?
Ravagers can work. I guess if you're just going for all Ravagers P1, that could work. I haven't tried it, so I'm not sure how effective that is for the first train. Like, how many Ravagers can you get by the first train? Not sure. I could try it out.
So are you
I
okay
think with that strat, it's okay.
So you're okay with B?
Yeah, you could kite pretty well with Ravagers.
Alright, let's put Arbiter in B. Prestige wise, what prestige do you want?
0 or 1.
0 or 1? Okay.
If you're gonna do the Ravager strat.
Yeah, if you want the Ravagers, you want to do the first prestige. Let's move on. Alarak, where do we have him?
Alarak has really long range units that do plenty of damage, so you won't be getting feared much. At least you shouldn't. The hero unit should also be in front most of the time, so he will soak a lot of damage. And yeah, he can kill enemies without even being close to them with Ascendant, so I have him in A.
Okay. How about you, Twotuuu?
Alarak gets feared a lot because he's in the front, and then if you can't get him out, he's gonna keep getting hit and then eat your army. So, like, before you get enough ascendants, it's actually kind of hard. And depending on what you're fighting, his army. I guess if you're P3, you can kind of move your air fleet up like to the high ground. But if you're using like ground stuff, Wrathwalker stuff, and you're like trying to walk around the bend, you might lose stuff. Yeah, I put him in B because of Alarak himself getting feared.
What do you think, Zero?
Even if he gets feared, the enemies won't live very long because Ascendants just killed them before. I'd personally advise P1 here. They have more DPS, so we don't even have to be out on the map anymore. Like, you can kill the trains from close to the ramp and then just go back to the base.
So you'll fight the trains from the ramps?
Yeah, Alarak has the damage output with that with P1 Roughwalkers and Ascendants.
Okay. What do you think, Twotuuu?
My concern is before you can get Ascendants, you're just kind of weak. And
You have overcharged.
yeah, you don't have like that many. You don't have like in that many for every single wave plus the trains.
You only have to survive.
Every time I
until,
use
like,
him, he
the
gets
second
feared a
train.
lot.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
concerned about
surviving to the second train isn't that hard.
I'm concerned about Alarak's damage output when you're using the first prestige. When you have only the hero, you'll be mostly relying on your overcharge before your ascendance route. Is that a concern?
That's my concern. Of
You
course,
should
once
still
you have
try.
Ascendants, you're gonna be fine, but it takes a while to get there.
And power them up. You need to macro them and remember to sacrifice every minute, basically.
I mean, the enemies aren't stronger, so even base Ascendants without much buffs will still kill the early waves.
Not sure. Not sure it's
Especially
good
with
enough for
Alarak was
a.
helping.
Oh,
I think it depends on what the enemy is, because if it's like high, it's not even
Immortals.
DPS, it's high attack rate. Like Marines are
Bio.
surprisingly dangerous. If
Zerglings, I
you're
guess.
P1, they don't die in one shot either.
If you get Bailey Scourge and you don't have a lot of ascendants yet, and you don't have them powered up, they might get devoured pretty quickly, especially when Alarak gets feared.
I mean, even if he gets feared, he's still just gonna be tanking because he's in front. The sentences don't take that long to get going.
I don't know. What do you think, TC? Are you okay with A?
I don't think he's A, because I have more A's that are easier, and there's no concern for those guys.
Okay. Zero, are you okay with B?
I mean, fine, I guess, yeah.
Okay. So let's put Alarak in B. Prestige wise, so you want the first prestige here. You want to rely
Yes.
mostly on your units, but why would you use the first prestige when you're going mostly ascendant? What is the benefit for ascendants when you go for the first
Because
prestige?
you're also getting Roughwalkers. Ascendants aren't that good at trains, and the Roughwalkers are really good against trains.
But I thought the strategy was to snipe the trains on the ramps. That means you need burst damage, which is ascendants rather than Wrathwalkers.
Yes, but Ascendants don't have, like, using all the energy on the trains isn't that great, and the Roughwalkers have really good burst damage just through their DPS.
Okay, if you say so. Let's put Alarak in B with first prestige. Arcturus, double S. Let's move on. Yeah, where do you have him?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
He's double S. You just contaminated strike everything, ESO everything.
All right, let's put him
Anything
in.
that's missed, yeah, anything that's left behind gets killed by bunkers, which don't get feared.
Let's put him in double S. Let's move on. I'll fix this later. Artanis, where do we have him?
Artanis, I guess his units are fairly long range, but they don't have the DPS to kill the enemies before they get close. And their HP pool isn't very high, so they'll be getting feared a lot too. Yeah, Artanis just probably won't have a real good time here, so I have him in C.
What do you think, Twotuuu?
Tempests shoot very slowly. They don't have high DPS. You can hit multiple carts. You can also shield overcharge to not get feared, but that's like, yeah, you can do that, I guess. Self-destruction will mean like your zealots are going to lose their shields pretty quickly. And if you drop Unbound Fanatics, they might get feared. Although I think that doesn't
They'll
matter
still
too
shoot
much.
their-
They'll still keep attacking.
Energy things. Yeah.
Yeah, I still put I put Artanis in C because
Okay.
not great.
Both of you have him in C? Let's put him in C. Prestige wise, you want the third one, right?
Third one.
Okay. Dehaka, where do we have him?
Dehaka, he can creeper host snipe pretty much everything from home. If you want more sustained damage, you can get guardians, but creeper hosts, they don't care about fear because they'll just the locusts die on contact anyways.
Yeah.
Extra minerals can be used on primal worms, which don't get feared. And pack leaders can take out like the entire, or mostly most of the attack wave or escorts, and then your units just focus on dealing train damage. Which, if you want, you can also use impalers on the high ground. I put Dehaka in A.
Dehaka in A. How about you, Zero?
I'm fine with A. The pack leaders will kill most the waves. The early game isn't an issue because you have Glavik for the first trade. So yeah, your units will just be there to help out with trades, which yeah, pretty much all the options Twotuuu listed are good. So A makes sense.
Yep. I also agree. A is fine. Prestige-wise, what prestige do you want?
2.
Second.
Second one? Alright, let's move on. Phoenix, where do we have him?
Phoenix, so he has no issue with the train DPS, at least with Caldalis. The heroes may be getting feared a lot, but even then, not really, because they have relatively high HP pools. And even if they die to like nukes and such, you just send in another one. So I have him in A.
How about you, Twotuuu?
Yeah, I think he's alright. If you're fighting against an air comp, you just need more Stargates, make a lot more Mojos, and
You need a lot of
hopefully
mojo,
Mojo
guys.
can handle.
You need a lot of mojo.
Yeah. If you're fighting air comp, Caldalis actually kills the trains faster because then he'll be less busy. You do want to start attacking sooner so that
You have more
you
time
make
to
sure like even
burst.
even if you get feared, if your dude dies, it doesn't matter. You just get a fresh one that's not feared.
Alright,
I think A is fine.
A is fine. Alright, both of us, or all of us agree with A, so let's put him in A. Prestige-wise, do you want the first one here, or still stick with the second one? Second one?
2.
Alright. Okay, Han and Horner, where do we have him?
Han and Horner relies on good strike fighter usage to take out escorts before engaging. And if you miss, or if you don't use your cooldowns well, you're going to have to fight with your army. I think P2 will be better here because you probably want Wraiths to be able to dodge stuff more easily. If you're using P1, then your Reapers will get feared a lot. Although they can dodge nukes easily, that's good. But I guess it depends how good your cooldown usage is. Because if you don't miss much, I think P1 is fine too. You can kill most of the units.
All right.
With that said, it's they suffer against AOE because one storm and everyone's running around scared.
Yeah.
So
Ladder.
yeah, I put Han Horner in B.
Okay. How about you, Zero?
I have them in C. Strike fighters are good, but if you roll an air comp, they're not gonna do much. And fighting air enemies will be very difficult. Like, Wraiths are good if you're against like Terran, but if you're against like Protoss, especially carriers, they will get feared a lot. So they will suffer.
Okay. What do you think, Twotuuu?
I can see that. When the dangerous air units are there, then you're probably gonna have the strong cooldowns like Column of Fleet or Space Station.
I'm thinking in particular about that huge Oracle wave that's specific to this map. They send huge Oracle waves, and that one Protoss Sky Toss comp. You guys know that one? I think
Yes,
it's
so-
Hope of the Kali. I think that's the one. They send like so many oracles. And they can actually shoot through bio. It's kind of funny, scary at the same time, but funny, kind of. But
guess
what do you guys think about mag mines for anti-air?
I mean, they're immobile, so they'll likely get hit by nukes if you're not paying attention to them at all times.
Mag mines are immune to nukes.
Oh, mag mines, not widow mines, yeah.
So would that work?
I mean,
I guess P1 is more rounded because if you're fighting air, you just
Mag mines.
it's not. Yeah, you just magmine. You have magmines plus you have magmines plus reapers. They can like a few of them get feared, but you have 20 more.
Yeah,
Then
good work, right? Anyway, do both of you agree with C?
I guess C.
Okay, Let's put Han and
So
Horner in
you
C.
need a certain level of skill plus
Competence.
luck.
Yeah, that's true. All right, let's move on. Karax, where do we have him?
Karax, he has a very good top bar. That top bar can solo this entire map, and there's not much stopping it here, so you can just use all your resources to basically support the top bar with train DPS, so I have him in S tier. He doesn't really get bothered by anything.
Just to be clear, that top bar is Chrono, and you're using the first prestige? Or you just want Solar
No.
Lance?
Solar Lance.
Solar
Yeah,
Lance?
P3 can solo this map with just top bar.
Okay, so you want third prestige, and just towers at the edge. And wait, you're solo with top bar, so just Solar Lance for the entire train. Will that work for later trains?
It will, but you
Just
still have
Sorlance?
monoliths to support it if you want.
Okay. I thought you were gonna solo with top bars on the trains. I'm not sure how that
he
would
is
work.
capable. He is capable, but it isn't optimal.
All right, that's fair. Okay, so how about you, Twotuuu?
Yeah, I put them in S because you can use P1, you can use P3. If you want, you can use P2, but either way, you have a unity barrier that protects your towers from nukes. And yeah, I think you're just gonna put monoliths along the edges, and then like siege observers, and then solar lance, everything.
All right, that's fine. Karax is S. Use third prestige or first prestige, whichever you prefer, or second prestige if you really want to. Kerrigan, where do we have him?
Kerrigan probably gonna use P3 because if you jump in, you're gonna get feared a lot, and if Kerrigan dies, you're in trouble. So Kerrigan, early on, you're just gonna use like kinetic blast, poke stuff, or like slow him down with the crushing grip. Eventually, getting air units, most likely brute lords, because they are long ranged. That means against air, you're gonna rely on immobilization wave, which is not bad. But yeah, you will have it for every train, but
That
then
makes sense.
the attack waves afterwards you won't.
Kind of scary,
So
especially if it's Sky
it
Toss.
could get scary. Yeah, I put Kerrigan in B.
B. Okay, how about you, Zero?
B. If it's air, she's gonna have a really hard time. Like arguably C if it's air, but if it's ground or like a hybrid comp, then she should be okay-ish. You can probably use ultras also. They have relatively high HP, so you just don't get feared a lot. And even if you get duped, you just revive. But yeah, mutas should also be okay. They stay relatively high range, so with the worms, you can just bounce their attacks off of them.
I
B is
guess
fine.
Mutalisks are an option, but B is not very high either. So I guess, yeah, both of you agree with B, right?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
B it is. Nova, where do we have him?
So Nova, she doesn't have issue with the early game at least, because her hero unit. I believe when she gets the blink shield, she is immune to fear also, which is very helpful. So for the later wave, she has airstrikes. She just has airstrikes. If it's ground, you have liberators, which help, and they're also really good at killing the trains. So I have her in A.
You can also use Raven Seeker missiles for, waves. But also pretty good.
Yes.
How about you, Twotuuu?
So this one, I used level 1 Nova for this one, and as long as you have enough liberators, doesn't really matter. Even without airstrike, it was doable. So
Against
with
any
airstrike,
comp?
it'd be even easier.
Against any comp?
Against for max level against any comp, you could do that.
Fair.
So, also, at level 1, you don't have the fast transformation, so you can't even dodge nukes. But,
Sad.
yeah. And I don't think you have airlift either. So it's just,
Yeah, you suck,
yeah,
level
but-
1 Nova. You suck, level 1 Nova.
yeah, but she's still really strong, so A.
Alright, so that's unanimous A. Let's move on. Oh wait, prestige-wise, you want the first one, so I have more liberators?
1.
One.
There's no reason to use 3 here.
Raynor, where do we have him?
Raynor, everything, even his spider mines get feared, so really sucks. And you'll probably if you just mass mines, it's not gonna be great. And if you're gonna support it with bio or something, maybe, or like Vikings, maybe. Yeah, but there's a lot of fear. So, if the enemy's not favorable, any heavy AOE comp also will just wreck you.
Reaver Disruptor, Bailing Scourge.
Yeah. I put Raynor C.
Raynor C. I mean, not even specifically Splash. Like even the Oracle Wave, the massive Oracle Wave is scary for Raynor. How about you, Zero?
I agree with C. I'd say your best bet here is to like try to survive the early game and build up like a battle cruiser count because they don't get feared as much. But even that, you won't have a really easy time. So yeah, C is fine.
All right, unanimous C. Prestige wise, do we have a prestige recommendation? Third one?
3, I'd
If
say.
you're going for air, then it's P3. If you're not, then it's 0 or P2. If you're going for mines.
Okay, let's move on. Stetboy, where do we have him?
Then he has Zerglings that take 10 damage a hit, even from nukes, so he doesn't really care about that. His
Right.
units also have a lot of healing, so if they get feared, they still just tank through stuff. The what's it called? The overcharge on the green zone gives your units a little barrier, which makes them immune to fear.
Not even a little barrier,
So
it's literally a defensive matrix.
Exactly. Yeah, he won't be getting feared that much with his units. He has teleports around the map, so he can catch trades if he needs to. His units have decent enough DPS that they just burst through trains. The Igorb kills basically all the waves. So I have him in S tier.
Alright, how about you, Twotuuu?
Yeah, he has all the tools needed to deal with this. He's not afraid of any of the mutators. So yeah, S.
What units do you go for again?
Zergling plus anything.
So you'll just dodge for example, Hydralisks. If you get targeted, you just blue zone and run away?
If you get targeted, you just like if some get feared, you just run and lose like the few that are running around in circles.
I guess you can also just teleport with Super Gary. That also works.
I think if they're feared, they're not in the teleport.
Yeah, but you want to teleport what you can.
Then you can just run and run.
That's true, but the ones that are feared, if they're getting targeted, will die regardless. But anyway, let's move on. Stukov, where do we have him?
Stukov is actually pretty good because Diamondbacks have such long range, and so do tanks. I guess the problem would be against air, if there are air. You don't want to use P3 here. P3 is bad. You're gonna get feared a lot. P1 is pretty good. I guess if there's a lot of air, then you want to fight near your ramp where you can have some missile turrets support, plus your Diamondbacks pull down the air units and the tanks will take care of them. I put Stukov in A.
How about you, Zero?
A tier seems a bit high. Like he is solid, but I don't see him on tier with the other A commanders. Like especially because he's comp reliant on not getting air.
I think he's actually fine against air if you have Diamondbacks. I mean, even the third prestige, if you can use it such that you only rally your bunkers. You don't need a lot of bunkers, maybe like 5 or 6, and then just rally them to where your tanks are, so that your tanks are constantly shooting. And when the airwaves arrive, you just send your infested to the ramps rather than down the ramp to the trains. So you can still make the third prestige work just fine against air. You can also add like liberators and stuff, so that's also good. That's also good.
Liberators just get feared and get rid of their attack reduction.
I mean,
So, yeah,
you add them in. They're not gonna be the main unit. You still want the troopers rallying from the infested bunkers to fight the air attack waves.
P3 might work. If P3 works, I'm fine with A tier. I haven't tried P3 though, so can't really say.
But yeah, even with the third prestige, you still want mass tanks, and the bunkers are just there to basically feed the tanks and serve as anti-air. Sort of. So are you okay with A?
Yeah, sure.
Wait, let me do it the other way around. Twotuuu, are you okay with B?
I am okay with. I was. I didn't. I forgot to mention. I don't have a. It's. I don't. It's not a strong A for me.
Okay, so do you guys prefer A or B?
I'd go for B personally.
All right. Yeah, that's
Okay,
fine.
let's put Stukov in B. Prestige wise, yeah, you can go for the third one or the first one. The first one is more. I guess it's more solid against the ground, but I think the third one, you have a stronger chance against air. Let's move on. Swann, where do we have him?
Swann, he has good turrets that, of course, you can't build on the low ground, but you don't need to. They'll still be able to defend the attack waves even from home, if there's actually any attack waves left, which there won't be a lot because the top bar can just clean up the entire train escort at spawn. And as for the train DPS, you can either go tanks in Hercules, but that's really difficult. Instead, I'll just advise Wraiths. They can also pick up any straggler units that are left. So with that, I have an S tier.
All right, how about you, Twotuuu?
So the concentrated beam comes. It's up every like 3 minutes, and every train comes every 3 minutes. So you'll have a concentrated beam for every train, and for double trains, you concentrated beam one, pulse cannon the other. Pretty much all the escorts are gone. You can, and a lot of the trains will be damaged. You can even kill the first train with just concentrated beam and nothing else. And if you need extra help, you have warbots. So yeah, full concentrated beam mastery, of course. And then whatever's left, you kill them with wraiths or
Kill with fire.
or your towers, whatever's around your base. I put Swann in S.
So fire, you kill him with flame berries. Okay, Swann and S. That's very nice. Prestige wise, do you want the second one here?
No,
No prestige.
the enemies aren't stronger. You're making wraiths, so
Wraiths don't care about P2. They're mineral limited. You just have
not.
stronger turrets and don't really affect your Wraith production.
Yeah, I don't.
There's-
I still float gas whenever I make rates on the second prestige. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, there's no need for P2 though.
Yeah,
You can use it, but there's no need for it.
I guess.
I mean,
I guess
it
it's
still
fine.
makes it easier. Just because
Well,
Swann
okay.
is strong enough that you don't need it.
How about
It
this,
still
guys?
helps.
No prestige works. Second prestige works. How about that?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. My goodness. Tychus, where do we have him?
Tychus hates fear. Like if like a huge percentage of your army is out of it's just out of the battle if you get hit, even though it's shorter for than a regular unit, it really sucks if you don't get the first hit in. And
That can be like a slogan or something. Tychus hates fear. Tychus fears hate. Something like that. It's pretty good.
yeah. So P2, I don't know if P2 is great, because if your dude gets feared and you're trying to bring in someone to help him, then the dude who's feared, Tychus, is gonna get damaged more, or you have to teleport him out or medevac him out, which also sucks. So if you're using P3 or P1 or one of the regular ones where you bunch up, it might be better, but you deal less damage. So I put Tychus in B.
Zero, where do you have him?
So I have him in B also. I still think P2 is worth it, just because Lone Wolf Sab is really good at taking down the trace, which Tychus struggles with a lot. But yeah, the fear will suck for him a lot, so B is good.
All right. Yeah, B sounds very good. Unanimous B. Prestige wise, so it's kind of up to you if you want to risk the second prestige or you want to have your entire army on the field. It's kind of up to you. No prestige, or you can actually even the first prestige might work. It might get a little expensive, but you'll have more charges of everything. So B it is. Vorazun, where do we have him?
Okay, so Vorazun really depends on if you're gonna use the train escort bug with time stop. If you do, she's manageable. If you don't, against the harder comp, she will suffer a lot. So I have her in either B or A, depending on if you use the bug to glitch the escorts.
So it's like an
That's
A
for the
star.
train.
You need to know the bug. But then
Yes.
again, it's kind of easy to know the bug once you know it's there. You just wait for the escort to stop moving, and then you're pretty much free. Plus Twotuuu, I'm pretty sure, will once again promote his video where he does have the timestamps and everything. So go ahead, Twotuuu.
Yes. People who are listening to this obviously are above average. They care more than the average player. So
They're also good looking.
if
People
you're-
who watch this video are confirmed, scientifically proven to be very good looking, smart, and also very awesome. Continue.
Yes. So the timings, if you don't want to watch the video, it's 5:25, and then 9:50, 15:15, 21:30, and then the last train, whenever that comes. So
Whenever that comes.
yeah. So you can let the ninth train go, so you can time stop again, or you can just time stop and like rush the train. Either way, it's like if yeah, you can just rush the train. But I did this against Siege of Storms, I think. I didn't choose the comp, so it was just random. And then it was okay. You just make Corsairs if they're air units. And I put Vorazun A.
Alright, so it's unanimous A. Vorazun is 1 prestige, Keeper of Shadows, so that's fine. Keeper of Shadows. Let's move on. Zagara, where do I have him?
Zagara, she has bio launchers, and they're not that hard to use. You just point them along the tracks, and you can just let them stay there, actually. And you just control Zagara plus her units. Don't run Banes into the trains. You can use Lings to deal train damage. You can also use Hydralisk to kind of control where the enemies get hit by bio launchers, because they'll try to attack the Hunter Killers, and then like when they're standing under a green spot, that's where the bio launchers will hit eventually. So I put Zagara in A.
How about you, Zero?
The thing, by launchers, like even though you have to put them a little further from the edge because going nuclear, they still have plenty of range to defend against the escorts and kill the trades. So A is completely fine here. She isn't really dependent on composition either. By launchers just kill everything.
Very nice. Alright, A it is. Prestige wise, you want the third one, right?
Yes.
Okay, Zeratul, where do we have him?
So Zeratul, his units have relatively low HP, so they might be getting feared a lot. As for cannons, even though they don't get feared, if you deploy them and then a nuke lands, you'll have to cancel them, so they may be out of commission for a while. Not actually sure. I have him in A tier, but I'm not sure if he could be S tier, just because it can be kind of RNG reliant with cannons if a nuke lands on them.
I guess.
If you go for units, yeah, the fear might hurt you a lot.
How about you, Tutu?
I thought you were gonna go the other way. You said he's in A, not sure if he's in B, but you said not sure if he's in S. For sure he's not an S for me, because there's the fear thing. Yeah, so I put him in A. It's just mass cannons, and
A is
hope
fine.
you get good luck.
A is not bad. A is A, which is pretty good. Most
Oh,
people
yeah.
would be happy with an A.
Even if you're massing cannons, you should still make like some DTs for train damage. The DTs are not gonna deal damage to the enemies. They're just there to deal damage to the trains.
Void Templar are pretty good. Okay, so that's all the commanders in the tiers. So Arcturus AA, who's top of S?
Karax, I think.
Karax.
Yeah, agree with that. Who's second in S?
Swann, I think.
Swann.
Yeah.
Pretty high ranking for Swann this week. Then Stetboy, who's top of A?
Nova, I think.
Yeah, Nova.
Then
Then
I think I heard Vorazun or Zagara.
I kind of like
Hmm.
Zagara.
Zagara. Static D.
Yeah, and bio launchers, Tutu's favorite. Then
Vorazun.
Vorazun.
that's pretty
Vorazun
high.
essentially like half the enemies you don't even need to fight.
That's true. Then
Fenix.
Phoenix. Then
Yeah, that's fine, I think.
Dehaka and Zeratul. Zeratul bottom of A. Wow, that's something. That's certainly something. Who's top of B?
Alarak.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Then
Stukov? I think.
Stukov. Yeah, Stukov.
Stukov, okay, yeah.
Tychus? Afterwards?
All right.
Hmm.
And then Kerrigan, then Abathur.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Then who's top of C?
Han Horner.
Horner.
Hot Horner.
I think that's fine.
Artanis and Raynor. Poor Artanis and poor Raynor. Oh my goodness. They're always so low. They really these three commanders need a general buff. Oh my goodness. They always find themselves in this position every week. But anyway, that is this week's tier list. That's actually more straightforward than I thought. Okay guys, watch Twotuu's channel. I will link it down below. I'll see you guys next time.